Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hello there, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III. And man, today I have a young lady that is doing big things across the awesome border over there in Canada. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to April Jones. Welcome, April. And you have a special guest today.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I do. I've come with Ricky Stardust.
Awesome. Hey, welcome, Ricky. Welcome. It's a big surprise. Thank you. Thank you for coming with April and joining us. So, April, if my internationally known Ringside crew is not familiar with you, introduce yourself.
Well, I'm April Jones. I've been involved in wrestling for the last 10 years. When I initially started, I started as a valet manager. And this is a short story. And eventually, worked my way to working independently. And now Ricky and I, we run Top Tier Wrestling up here in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Welcome. So, Ricky, your turn. So, introduce yourself to my Ringside crew.
Ricky Stardust, 28 years pro, retired last year, wrestled all over North America, trained some of the big names of today that you may have heard of, and now with retirement have partnered with Miss April Jones here to run Top Tier and give back to the wrestling community all the things that I love about wrestling.
So Top Tier is like your baby right now. So like, let's talk about the roster with Top Tier. Like, so who are some of the fun names that we could talk about tonight?
It's huge.
Massive roster.
It's a massive roster. So I'll let you go, Ricky.
If we're talking more on the indie side, guys that probably be on your show, etc. Like Puff is obviously big fan favorite. Pretty Ricky, Cody Deaner, who's in TNA, Matt Cross, who's just a goat everywhere. Holodead from WoW.
Yeah. We've had Jordan Grace. We've had John Grisham. We've had
Josh Alexander. Gotch. Oh wow, Dirty Dango. This is huge.
Yeah, we have Rohit Raju on our show. So the list goes on and on.
Zico, Rupinder, Aiden Prince, Johnny DeLuca. We've got Cody Lane coming up next week.
We have Trey Miguel coming up on the 22nd. So it's a huge roster and it's very diversified.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a roster right there. That's just like even playing WWE 2K23 doing Universe.
Pretty much. I mean, and that's just like the tip of the iceberg. There's so many, and I feel horrible not mentioning everybody because we've had some really amazing talent working with us and for us. And, it's wonderful to be able to bring the talent up to Canada into our specific area. And really, allow people to see what wrestling's all about.
Yeah, it's something to have like a big roster like that. Is it easier to sit down and just get your notebook and jot down like a show, or is it harder? Do you have it takes you like a full week just to do like a full show?
Oh, I wish it took a week.
Yeah, I know. It's very difficult. And because we are televised up here, unfortunately, we're only allotted 2 hours and 13 minutes.
2 hours, 13 minutes without commercials.
Without commercials. Yeah. And, we want to always include everybody. Because how do you pick? How do you pick? It's very difficult. And, so it's not an easy process. I will tell you that.
The big thing that we were told is there's no match on the show where I can go pee. There's no piss break match.
Because everybody wants to. Yeah, everybody wants to watch all the matches because they're all amazing.
Which is like, it's not a credit to us. We just put them together. The talent themselves are the ones that they're doing everything. We're just giving them that platform, and so we thank them for giving us. And like, we've only been doing this a year at this company. Having them elevate us to be able to do what we're doing is, they're the real reason why we're able to do what we do.
Yeah, and I can say this, Joe, everybody that works for us and has worked for us have all been so incredibly like lovely as human beings. And the one thing I feel like, and I would like to touch on that people don't realize, especially fans, is the locker room and the environment and the energy in the locker room. It plays such a huge factor in the production and what people see in the ring. And everybody that we have come in have just been like beyond anything. And it's like such a good feeling to be part of that. And it shows out in the ring and it shows in the matches. And that, I think really speaks volumes to what we've been able to bring together for indie wrestling.
Yeah, that's like one thing to have like a roster and they're all like, yeah, I'm here to wrestle. But like, I guess you guys could say that your roster is truly like family. Like everybody, like they're there. They
We do, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you never want to. It's hard for us because we genuinely care for these people, and it's hard for us when there's only. I mean, at one point we had too many matches because we wanted everybody to be involved, and we've had to really scale it back, and it's like it's very hard. How do you scale these matches back to 8 matches in a show when we want everybody to be included because everybody's like incredible.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's a tough thing to do.
I'd be sitting there in the corner if you had me as a third man, and I'd be like, "Well, Joe, let me see what you got." You made every match a battle royal. You made every match a tag match, Joe.
That's pretty much what it feels like.
Every match, Joe. Every
Okay,
match
we
is
can
a
do a
six-man tag.
six-man.
Teddy, I unzip my neck and it's Teddy Long. Every match is a tag team match.
Love it. Yeah. Well,
Where we've tried not to do that. Like the worst, I shouldn't say the worst. We typically will have a multi-man match just because, again, we have so many guys. We want them to shine. We want them to get that TV exposure. We want them working with new people. So we'll put them into a 6-man or.
And if I can interject
please,
as well, and people that the fans want to see.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's at the end of the day, it's about the fans.
Yeah.
And like you need to listen to them, and they're the ones who are buying the tickets. They're the ones showing up. They're the ones supporting these wrestlers. Of course, we want to listen to what they're saying.
Yeah. We've wrestled for a long time, so we know what it's like to work for a shady promoter.
Yeah.
Show up, drive 4 hours, show up for, stiffed pay, or a botched match, or
50 people in the audience, and it makes a difference.
Yeah. So we try very, very diligently to make sure, because we don't want the next evolution, the next generation of talent to go through or feel how we felt. We want them to feel valued because they should be valued. We want the fans valued because they're the ones going out and they're spending that hard-earned money to buy a ticket, to buy merch, to buy, an autograph. Like, those are the people collectively that have like that symbiotic relationship. Without one, there's not the other. So we have to do our best to combine what's best for both factions, and that's how we're able to be successful.
Yeah, like myself as a fan, I'm always looking for a roster or like a show that will not just make me go, I think I should spend my hard-earned money and request off from work. I want to see a show that will make me go the next time I'm out in public and I know there's a wrestling fan that I'm in front of that's not going to stare at me like the cat from TikTok to go, huh?
Absolutely. I mean,
and I go, holy, I don't like guys, don't go, holy shit. I just went to a wrestling show and it blew my mind. Every match was a banger. Like, I go to PPW in Slatington. I don't know if you're familiar with PPW in Slatington, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And they have some wrestlers over there that will knock your socks off. We have Danny Moe, and Facade.
We have them booked. We have her in Facade booked in September.
Yeah.
I love Dan. And when you see it, tell her Joe says hi.
I will do that.
I love Danny. Danny's such a. He's gonna be like, oh God, you know Joe too. Facade's gonna go. Facade's gonna go. Oh God, I feel. Dude, I can see it in the show. Dude, I feel bad, man. We keep telling Joe he's gonna come on Dudes, and we like keep on forgetting. Like he did a spot.
You need to come to our show.
Yeah,
okay, come up to our show.
Oh man, I gotta get my passport. I gotta get my passport.
Yes, so we'll set you up, and then everybody can just like sit with you and record.
There you go.
Oh God, like George McKee, like George in the mini host.
I'm not kidding you. The invite's always open.
We have Jeff Kavanaugh doing that at our next show.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's gonna be doing interviews backstage.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely gotta get my passport then.
Get your passport, Joe, and the door's always open for sure.
And it's funny because Visage did a spot at the PBW, my last show I went to. It was like an entrance doorway, and he somehow climbed to the top of it. And these wrestlers are fighting, bucking, punching each other, all like in a pack. And he just looked down and he swanton bombed on the top of all of them.
Love it.
I caught it's on the Instagram page. He just took the flying leap. I didn't see the fall. I just watched him do the I'm like, I would miss. And it would be like, oh, the angel, arms of an angel at the end of the song.
Yeah.
Like, no. Yeah. So like, Ricky, so as like a former wrestler, like what has been like your like craziest like spot or like craziest moment you've had since you've been you've been in the business?
Which bone you want to talk about, Joe?
It's so good. I need to call my sassy sister, the nurse, be like, okay, Angela, let's get the nurse body thing here and point at the body part that's broken.
Tell the nurse to come in, and I think the worst thing that happened was Green Kid botched a launch and came down, dislocated my ankle, broke my fibia in the ring, and my leg was like 90 degrees the wrong way, and I popped it back in the ring. Obviously I had to throw up the X's. I couldn't walk, but that was probably the worst. Had 2 surgeries, 13-inch plate and 18 screws. That was probably the worst.
It's just like something I always say this to wrestlers that always tell me about their injuries and their bumps they took. Thank you for giving us entertainment, even though it risked your health. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds horrible to say that, but thank you for doing that for our entertainment. You know what I mean? Like,
it's what we do when anybody who's a professional athlete of any facet, basketball, football, baseball, injuries happen, man. So anybody that looks at you and says wrestling's fake, it might be a predetermined finish and stuff like that, but bumps hurt. Taking barbed wire to the back of the skull hurts. Going through a table hurts. Taking a bump on the concrete hurts. That's the path we chose.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. It's fun. It's also interesting. There's a female wrestler that I interviewed a few days ago, and I definitely think you need to look her up. She's from Virginia. Her name is Sam Street, she's like 20. She's 20 years old. Okay. She was on her 4th time on the podcast, and she literally asked me, Joe, so now this is my 4th time. I think it's your 4th time. She's like, yeah, and she's like, wow, Joe, 4 times. I said, you know why? She's like, why? I was like, because I see something in you. I don't know what it is. I just see some. Since day one, when I first had you on, when you were green, you could stood next to Kermit the Frog, and he would say, "This is my sister." Like, I saw something in her. She's a star. She has. When I first saw her, she'd had no belts because she was a rookie. Then I interviewed again. She had 2 belts. Then she had 3 belts, and now she has another belt. So. Definitely look her up, Sam Street.
I will. Yeah.
She I don't think she's ever wrestled in Canada. She's been from Virginia. She's trying to make her way across the country. But if you DM her and say, Joe Path the third told me to contact you about
He's asking us to slide in the DM.
I got you, Joe.
Get her, tell her, talk to her. She'll be like, "Oh my God, Joe's now booking for me." Like, I gave her the best intro she's ever had. I was like, "This girl is the one and only Sam Street," and she was like, "Oh my God, Joe, you always give me the best intro."
But we'll have to definitely take a boo at her.
We will.
Yeah, she's a good egg. She's a good egg, and people love her. The fans love her. She brings a street sign in the ring because she's Sam Street.
Right.
Like, so April, now to you, like,
yeah,
you started out as like a valet, and
yes,
now you're wrestling. Like, what is it like for you? Like, do you have to train differently to be from valet to wrestler? Or is it different? Same amount of training?
Absolutely. Like when I first started, the individual that I was a valet for, it started off, I was just kind of going down to his training, and my background is really bodybuilding. And so I was going in, and everybody was saying, like, you really need to get into wrestling. You've got a body for it. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And eventually I was like, okay, I was asked to be the valet, and I thought, oh, I can do that. I love wrestling. I have since I was a child. I grew up in the whole, like, Jake the Snake Roberts was my idol growing up. So I was like, I could do that. And so I started off as a valet, and it sort of, in our particular area, my persona really took off. As a strong woman, I wasn't afraid of men. And sexy. Thank you, Ricky, for that. And then eventually it was like more and more people wanted me to take spots as a valet in the ring. And it made sense because I wasn't tolerating things. I'm, this fierce woman, and I don't care who you are. So I started training just to sort of take spots. And as time went on, I was getting more requests to work independently, work as an independent wrestler. So I transitioned more into training on my own. And then I started taking bookings on my own. So training to be a wrestler by far is completely different than being a valet. And one thing I think is very important to talk about is, as a spectator, we watch the wrestlers and we're very easy to critique as a fan, like, oh, we critique them and we are not happy with the performance that they've delivered. But like, wrestling's hard. These guys make it look very effortless. Wrestling's hard. It's not an easy thing to do. So I was training, and it totally changes your perspective on wrestling, even being a valet, switching to being a wrestler.
And if you gander through April's Instagram, she does a lot of working out stuff and like flexing and everything. That's so cool. I like to see when people are really into what they like to do, and it's just you're just showing everybody. I do what I do. I do what I do.
I do what I do, and that's when you're confident within yourself, it doesn't really matter, right? Yeah.
So with like, what is your, like, I know we talked about like the booking of the shows, but when you travel to your shows, is there like a certain distance that you guys, like, your promotion go like town to town, or is it like certain areas you guys only hit?
Our specific promotion right now, we are very focused in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. We run out of the Hamilton Convention Center, so it's a large venue. I think I'll let you speak to that.
Well, because of your history, Joe, so Hamilton was a melting pot for a lot of the wrestlers back in the Vince Senior days. You know what I mean? Like your Billy Red Lyons, Ernie the Executioner Moore, who taught me. Jack Tunney's from this area. Whipper Watson's from this area. There's so many.
There's so many. Like
the Hurricane Smith, Cyclone Smith, the Love Brothers, Johnny Canine. All those guys are from Hamilton. Hamilton has a giant history. Like, the history in Hamilton of wrestling is massive.
Yeah, Hamilton is rich in heritage with wrestling.
So when we decided we wanted to do this, and we decided we wanted to build something, our primary focus was to rebuild what Hamilton really is as far as wrestling is concerned, and that is the pinnacle as far as Ontario wrestling is Hamilton. That's where it's all from. The very first ever Royal Rumble was done in Hamilton.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was done at Hamilton Cups Coliseum.
Yeah.
Wow.
The beta test phase was at the Cops Coliseum. So the wrestling history here is huge. And we decided when we started September of 23.
Yeah.
This is where we're going to run. We run out of one venue every 6 weeks, where we have exclusivity there. We're on TV every week. We primarily want to build this base because there's a population of 850,000 people here. So let's build. We get people coming from all over. So this is why we want to stay here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I think it's important to build the proper fan base in Hamilton and reintroduce wrestling back into Hamilton as it should be.
Yeah.
You know, and we're not saying
In the future
we wouldn't move on to other locations, but right now our focus is just really rejuvenating what wrestling is about in Hamilton.
We're sort of following the pattern of TNA and NXT. We have our own venue, like original TNA and NXT now. We have our own venue. We're going to run in our own venue, and we're going to build that venue to be the place to go.
So do you guys ever go to like other promotions to scout like the women's roster?
Oh,
or, like,
yeah, absolutely.
there's a lot of women's wrestlers that I've interviewed the past few years, like that last year and stuff like that, that I try to like tell people, and you probably know a lot of them, like Danny Leo, Cat Von Heel, what's the game? Smith. I know her last name is Smith. She's like French. She's French Canadian. She has like a really thick.
There's quite a few of the French Canadian ladies right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Like it's so cool to see. Like there's a lot of like wrestlers that I've seen because I've interviewed them the past like last year, and it's so awesome. Like, have you ever like looked at another roster and going, I go to a show and you're like, that girl would be good against my girl, like that.
You do that, sure,
Yeah, absolutely.
But primarily, we go to other promotions not to cherry pick, but to support.
Yeah,
we want to support wrestling. We want to support. If any of our rosters on someone else's show, we want to support our talent.
Yeah, that's like the most important
thing. We're driving. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's the most important thing. Like, you know, we value who's on our roster, and it doesn't matter if it's our roster. They have opportunities everywhere. We value them and we want to support them. And I think that is a very, you know, proper thing to do. You know, indie wrestling is very important, and we can't get, you know, caught up in like, well, you're working for our promotion and somebody else's promotion. We're all a team. And if we didn't have indie wrestling everywhere, then, you know, what do we have? You know, we have to support. You have to always support indie wrestling. I know for myself, when I worked indie wrestling, I worked everywhere, down in the States, up here. And it's like, if I didn't have people coming to these shows, if these promoters didn't have people coming to these shows to show, they would die, you know? And so we owe it to support everybody. You know, indie wrestling is important to us as just normal people.
We have full-time jobs. This is our second full-time job. This is our sixth baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we have large families too. Like, we built this to be our next generation. We wanted it to be that next thing. And like, we're driving 3 hours tomorrow to a show in Windsor just to support the people out there. It is a charity show, but we have some of our talent that are on that show. So we're going to make that drive up there and support them as well. You know what I mean? We had a brother die, unfortunately, very early of cancer recently. We were at his memorial show. We were at his show where he literally came to he left the hospital to come to the ring and leave his boots in the ring.
Oh, my God.
And yeah, it was gut wrenching, but like, it meant everything to him that the people that loved and supported him as far as his brothers and sisters in this business were there. Like he left this world seeing that and having that camaraderie, that love. He knew that he was loved both at home with his family and loved in the business.
Wow.
Right.
That's
So
deep,
that's what's
guys.
important.
That's super deep. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I mean, this is, and I'll reiterate, this is a brotherhood. It's a sisterhood. We're all family, and you're part of it too, Joe. Like we're all family together. We all have to support each other.
Yep. Definitely all guys. Because that's why I always say, I put it on Instagram. It's in the bio on the Dudes at Ringside page, Instagram. I always post a picture, # support independent wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't matter where you are in the world, support it. I try to support my locals from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Message the wrestlers to ask the promotions. Can you come on the podcast? Owner, promoter, come on the podcast. We'll do a spotlight. Sometimes I don't hear back from them, and it kind of makes me sad. But I'm like, I know people are really busy with lives and stuff like that. But
we get it.
We have friends in Mexico that there's a recent thing done in Canada. They needed a new add-on to their passports to get into Canada.
Oh wow!
It was a weird flex, but because their English isn't as good, not all of them, respectfully. I did it for Black Taurus, and I did it for Kid Laredo. And next thing I know, I've got guys asking me, can I do it for them? Like, we're not booking them, but like, yes, I want you to work. I want you to come up and get your time. Send me your information. I'll do it. And I happily did it for them because these guys, they want that job. If they're going to go through the effort of coming to Canada, traveling 8 hours on a plane to wrestle, yeah, here, I'll spend half hour doing your paperwork. That's because, again, it's that brotherhood. I will do whatever I can to help somebody out. So will April.
Yeah.
So let's go. Let's talk about like the merch. Like, do you guys have like a website to get like your merch, or is it just exclusively at the shows and stuff like that?
I'll be honest with you, Joe. We have a website. It's toptierwrestling.com, or you can get us on Instagram at toptier_wrestling. As fast as our merch comes in, it's gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like we have, like even our wrestlers have, because we again, brotherhood, we give how do I phrase this, a gift bag to all of our staff at every show.
A swag
bag.
I like that.
Right. So some of our merch that we would sell, we give to our talent because they deserve stuff too, right? So it's just like going to the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like they get a bag. Here's your gift. Like they have a shaker cup or a coffee cup or a T-shirt or towels or
weed bag.
Yeah, one of our sponsors is a marijuana company, so they get a bag of weed. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
It's legal up here.
Okay. New York, it's legal.
Yeah.
A lot of our talent from the States, because they can't cross the border with it, will give it to a fan.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's the camaraderie, it's the brotherhood, it's the family dynamic of what we're trying to do. So yes, I'd love to sell merch. I'd love to sell you all the merch so I can make some money, so I can take April out to a nice meal. But it goes so fast.
Wow, that's good. Like, would you say like in a week you would your shirts, like you said, he comes in and it goes out. Like, do you feel that like sometimes you feel like you don't put enough on the site to get it to stay there for like a few weeks before it's all gone like that?
We order about 2 weeks before every show, and it's always something new.
Always something new.
Shaker cups, coffee, like coffee thermoses, plethora of stuff.
Yeah, with towels,
the T-shirts,
bags, gym bags,
the thunder sticks, the foam fingers. They're gone. We get to the show, and by intermission, they're gone.
Wow.
So by the time it's done, to put it up on the site, there's nothing left.
It's crazy you say that you actually have a merch table. You're gonna laugh. There was a promotion I went to back in the day. Great show. Roster, the wrestlers were so cool. The roster was so like really good. I'm from PA, and I was going to the show, and it was from a different state. So I'm walking in, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy a shirt because I live in PA. I want to be able to rock the merch when I go to like walk around my little town.
Yep.
Hey guys, where's your merch table? Oh, we don't do that. It's on Pro Wrestling Tees. I'm just like,
yeah.
We have it.
I was so mad.
Our venue is, was it 6,200 square feet?
It's huge.
It's a large venue.
Yeah, it's huge.
We've literally got, I'd say, a third of it. 25 to 33% is literally just merch tables.
Oh my God, that's like PPW.
Well, that's every talent has their own table.
Yeah,
and we encourage that. Like, we want these guys to come and make money.
Yeah.
Like that's, people don't understand. Like, it's important for these guys to come and make some money. They're giving up a full day. What people don't understand with a show is, like, you see a 15-minute match. These guys are coming in early because we have call time. These guys are waiting around till the show's done. These guys are spending their whole day there.
They're waiting because they want to wait. They don't want to leave.
They don't want to leave. They want to interact with the fans. So we want these guys to come and make money. We want these guys it to be worth their while. We want that for them.
And every single show we do is for charity. There's always a charity.
Always a charity. Always.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This particular show is Chaos for Canines.
Wow, Chaos for Canines. Okay, that's cool. You guys should look into the local Special Olympics. Also do that because I'm a Special Olympics athlete. So
Yeah, well, my daughter is as well. So I hear you on that. Yeah.
Our one
Christmas show.
Our Christmas show is for the sick kids.
Yeah.
that's cool.
But the story that you mentioned, the special needs we have, and I hate to throw this in that direction, but like Gregory Irons is one of our. We were talking about roster. Gregory Irons is one of our guys with his cerebral palsy.
Oh wow.
Okay. And he's fantastic. He's a go-to. He's been around forever.
Yeah. And he's super lovely.
Oh, fantastic! One of the funniest guys. He's got his podcast that he does. Well, not podcast, more like a
talk show.
It's like a talk show, yeah.
Yeah.
But he does it online. Funny guy. But no, our new therapist that we have a therapist now comes into the shows and does work on our talent.
A chiropractor.
A chiropractor will come and do like adjustments on our talent during the show. She is actually going to be at the paraplegic games in September. So she's going to be contacting us because we want to be able to support whatever we can there as well.
That's awesome. I do bowling, and when there's still swimming in this area, I was on the swim team.
Oh, nice. Amazing.
It takes a lot out of you. Like I do.
Sorry.
We got it. We had a flute. We had a friend.
Yeah,
we got a friend.
Little pussy on your show there, Joe.
I've had so many cats come on here. I had one cat one time just come walking into the camera and just hey, kitty.
Welcome, Gus.
What's the cat's name?
That's Gus.
It's Gus.
Gus. What a name. Gus.
Yeah.
Gus the bus.
Gus.
It's gonna be like that cat on the meme that the cat's doing the head dance in the camera.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's a farm here. This is okay.
6 pets. 2 dogs, 2 cats, 2 parrots.
I heard this jingle. I'm like, that must be a bird in the background.
That's the one parrot.
That's one of the parrots. Yeah.
What's the parrot's name?
That one's Jean.
Yeah.
As in, Jean the.
Jean the mean Jean.
Mean Jean.
Oh, like Mean Jean. Oh, God.
Jean.
Jeez. Mean Jean the parrot. Oh, jeez. He came back as a parrot.
He's mean.
He's the one that
We
bites
lost
you.
Mean Jean and he came back as a parrot. Oh, no. Man would talk.
Yeah.
Dick.
There's some stories about Mean Jean. I don't know if you know. He would go out to the bar after the shows and he would get like hammered. I don't know if you ever heard about that.
We used to drive Andre around.
You?
No, he did.
Oh, I thought you. I'm like, what?
I know. I'm saying, what?
I could keep up with that shit, man. I'd be dead at the first pit stop.
Like me and my buddy that didn't watch wrestling, he just one day we were talking and he's like, I don't know if he realized I am a diehard fan and I like followed it since I was a little boy. And as an adult, I started learning the new stuff that I didn't know. And he's like, did you know, like Ripley's, that Andre the Giant could drink a full like 6-pack of beer? And I'm just like this.
6-pack.
Like he would drink the full 6-pack.
Oh no, he'd do a 2-4.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, I'm looking at him like, dude, you realize I'm a wrestling fan and all the information is at the top of nowadays. I'm 41. Now it's at the tip of my fingers on
Literally.
Instagram. As a kid, I didn't know nothing. I was like, huh? Like,
totally different time. Totally.
I think Jake had a story with Andre where he picked him up and Andre wanted beer, bought him a case of beer and a Mickey or something like that, and it was gone before they got to the next spot, and he walked into the bar and still drank.
oh my god,
Insane. Yeah.
I think that was a Jake Roberts one back when he was doing Georgia wrestling.
awesome. So Ricky, like, how many states have you honestly been to? Like, I know you've been here in Canada, but like,
Mostly northern
United
states. I've been to New York. I've been to Detroit. I think I've been to Erie.
I know where it is.
Again, there's a lot of bumps to the head.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
I've been to Seattle once, Chicago once. Is it Indiana?
I don't know.
Ohio. But mostly my stuff has been Canadian.
Okay, that's cool.
I've from a young time I've had a full-time job other than wrestling, and it was hard for me to travel too far outside of that scope. So, weekend warrior, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, everything. It's so crazy because like I go to these shows and I work with people that are non-wrestling fans. And sometimes they'll go, "So how was your weekend?" I'm like, "Oh, just sitting at a wrestling show watching people beat each other up." What? Like sitting in the audience watching people beat people up. So that's what
I had my own school too, so I couldn't really travel too far away from the school because I had kids to teach, right? So.
Oh, you're a teacher?
I was a professional wrestling teacher. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say a teacher because I know people that were actually teach. There's a guy that's on Long Island.
Yeah.
Another guy, Evil Kip. He's another good wrestler from Long Island. That his character is a nerd, but he's mean. Like the name, he's a. Here we go. His character's a prick, like a real dick, like mean. But he's a nerd and wears glasses, and he makes fun of the fans. He does this to the kids in pictures. Like that.
Cody Diener's a teacher too, like an actual school teacher.
Yeah, that's what Kip is. He's real teacher. And another guy that's on Long Island that everywhere he goes, he wins the gold. Everywhere. We are talking about Joey Conway.
Okay.
Joey Conway, Joey Conway the Devil. That's what he calls himself, the Devil. Long beard, mustache like mine with the curls at the end of it. I'll have to send you his Instagram.
Please do.
Everywhere he had
stuff
like this.
Always read the stuff, so like we'll always
Dude,
look at stuff.
he would freak out. He'd be like, "Joe, you send me somebody from Canada." I'm like, "The devil needs to travel to Canada."
That's right.
That's what I'm telling him. Everywhere the boy goes, he has a picture of himself like this, and he had belts on his arms and around his waist. And like, I'm like, Joey, you gotta slow down. He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "You got too many belts. You're gonna fall over." He's like, "No." But yeah, I made a joke with him. I said, "If you break my glasses at the show, you have to send me something on, like, you know." And he's like, "You're kidding me, Joe." And I'm like, joking. I feel like the guy from Home Alone, the Home Alone 2. Yeah. The guy when Kevin is, and here is your room, Kevin. And then Kevin got the gum in his hand. That's like me. If you want to break my glasses.
Oh, it's Schneider. Rob Schneider's
yeah, Rob. That's like me. Yeah. Like I tell every heel. It's like that. Put me like every heel in indie wrestling. If you want to break my glasses.
Yeah.
And then the indie heels just dropped the gum in my hand.
We'll have a pair of red glasses for you. Come get your passport. Come to Hamilton.
Yes.
We'll have somebody come.
Just have Puff turn on me. Just like
Puff is huge, baby.
He's huge.
He'd probably try to dance with me, and then he bumped me and knocked me out of the.
He's a huge baby.
We'll work something out, Joe. Come on up.
I could dance too. I know how to dance, so I know how to get moves.
We'll have Aiden Prince do it. We'll have Bhupinder do it. We'll have Tarek do it. Somebody will come smack you around.
Yeah.
Oh God, my dad would be like, "He deserves it. Kick his ass for me, God, stop."
We'll have the Panther go heel on you.
Yeah.
Oh God, you have my dad turn on me.
There you go.
Oh God, my dad.
Booking 101 right
there. He'll be like, "I gotta turn on my son." Well,
business, baby.
It's business.
Expect the unexpected.
Yeah. So, guys, do you have any upcoming shows before we go? You want to promote so that the fans can, if they're in Canada, they want to come see your show. Like, What any upcoming ones?
Next week we have our Super Summer Showdown, which is June 22nd at the Hamilton Convention Center.
Yeah.
September 7th, October 26th, and December 7th, all in Hamilton, all at the convention center.
Oh wow, awesome. Again, if my fans want to follow on socials, how can they find you and or the fun promotion you guys work with?
Top Tier Wrestling on Facebook, toptierwrestling.com on the internet, and Top Tier _ Wrestling on IG.
And I am capital with a K _ gains with a Z on Instagram.
And the real Ricky Stardust on Instagram.
Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And also to all the pops out there, the dads and the moms that are the dads, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. And I'm Joe Panther the Third. Your turn.
Huh?
Your turn. It's like this is a send-off. Your turn.
Oh.
You are.
Oh, I'm Ricky Stardust, the first.
And I'm Miss April Jones.
And we will catch you in the next one.